Hey, what's up, everybody? All right, I had a couple questions about how I completed this helmet build for my Protec bike helmet. So I figured I'd had a little bit of time to go over the steps that I did and how I got the camo pattern and all that stuff and the parts that I got. So um, first thing that I do want to get right off the bat is this is a size large. I I typically wear like a size small, medium, um, and this was just a experiment. I just want to try it out, so I'm actually not going to use this helmet. Um, so this helmet fits extremely big on my head, and it's very uncomfortable. So I don't really like the fit. So that's why I kind of picked this size helmet just to play around with. But it actually started off as red, as you can see here. That red is the natural color of the helmet itself, and you can kind of see underneath here a little bit. The red, that's the actual color of the helmet. So the first thing I did was I spray painted the helmet this multicam color, and the way I did that was I used all Rust-Oleum camo colors. Get those from Lowe's or Home Depot or wherever. I think that's the Rust-Oleum camo is only sold at Lowe's, but I don't know. So the color, the way I did this is I spray painted the whole helmet using the earth brown color. Let that dry, obviously, and then I have a Cricut machine to make some stencils because I make decals. And I found an image on Google of just camo, the stencil patterns, and added that into the Cricut, printed it off using the removable vinyl. Do not use the permanent vinyl, use the removable vinyl. Um, Weeded it, got it ready, laid down some pieces, size it up obviously to where how you think it's going to fit. It's going to look appropriate for your helmet. And printed off a whole bunch of them, stuck them on, made sure that they were stuck down pretty good. And then I used, I believe it was either like the khaki or sand color next, to get kind of like this color here, and let that dry. Then took some more stencils, added that on top for the next layer, which was dark green, I believe. And dark green will give you kind of this color right here. And then spray painted that, let it dry, put on another layer of stencils, and then added the final color, which was army green. Let that dry, give it about 10 or 15 minutes, and then once it's all dried, then you can peel all the stickers off. What you can do at that point, if you want to, is get like a sealant, a sealer. If you wanted to, I would recommend using matte clear. If you want to, but like I don't know if it will pick up. Yeah, you can kind of see there's a lot of cracking right here, and there's some scuff marks. This kind of peeled up right here, so this is by no means my attempt at being perfect, and I'm sure there's plenty of other ways to get it a lot better than this. And you can see this peeled up to show the red all the way at the very base. But I mean, this is it's a beater helmet, so I'm not that worried about it. It's got some scuff marks, battle worn if that's what you're going for, whatever. So then after that, this was just sitting around forever, and then I was like, let me add some arc rails and MVG shroud and just see how it looks. There was a guy in another group, I don't remember who it is, forgive me if you're in this group, shout out to you, I got your inspiration from this, for this rather. So the next thing I did, got on Amazon and I ordered the Velcro that you see here. They have it in this FDE, and they also have it in black. I don't exactly know right off the top of my head, what brand and all that, but it's pretty easy to find. This is all airsoft stuff. The MVG shroud is airsoft MVG shroud, and so are the arc rails. None of this is like Wilcox Knots Core. So that's not what this was. I was not going for that for this. This was just a test. Just to see how it looked, which I do like the way it looks, by the way. But so then the next thing I did was I did not add the Velcro on first. That actually was the final thing. What I did next was I just, lined this MVG shroud up to where I think it would look appropriate. Got it kind of flush with the very bottom, gave a little bit of a gap. Lined up where the 3 holes were, took a pencil, marked the holes, and then drilled the holes through the plastic using a small drill bit, and then going up as appropriate until the screws wouldn't slide into place, but to where they were fit tight enough to where I could fit them in and still screw them down, and they weren't going to pull. So the only thing I'm going to change, and I'll show that later, is the actual screws themselves, and I'll show you why. Then got that secured into place, then moved on to the arc rails, and as you can see here, I just kind of lined them up with this border here and this border down here at the edge, held them in place with my hand, again used a pencil to mark these 2 holes on the helmet, and then using a drill bit just drilled them out and increased until and testing these bolts until I felt that they would screw into the plastic and give a good tight fit. And the only downside, I did that for both sides. That was the last thing I did for those. The downside with these helmets, if you decided to actually use this as a budget bump helmet, is this styrofoam, and it is just styrofoam. And the helmet is a certified Protec helmet. It's not one of those ones that's gonna crush if you press on it with your foot. So when I drilled through from the backside of the bolts here, they did go all the way through this styrofoam. The downside is the bolts don't go all the way through. So what I plan to do is get some longer bolts and get the some nuts that will work accordingly with that. So that way the bolts will fit all the way through and the nuts will be here, so that it's not going to like strip out and this is just going to come falling apart. I'm just using the pieces that came with these the stuff from Amazon, so this is not necessarily finished. I'm gonna probably use another helmet. I'm gonna try the same method on another helmet that's smaller that will fit my head to see how that looks, because I tried to see if I could pull the styrofoam back on here with a screwdriver to get a gap, but it's so secured on here, and this styrofoam is so brittle, it just peels right apart. And you can see there's another screw hole where it came through from the drill. So that's the only thing I will change there, and I'll see if I can get a good picture of it on this NVG shroud. You can see there's a pretty decent sized gap in here where the screw holes are for the bolts to fit. It's like a mile wide gap. I mean, there's a good view of it right there. You can see that's not sitting exactly flush against the helmet. That's only because I actually added the nut is actually underneath between the NVG shroud and the helmet to secure it in place to hold it there for now. So I may go to Lowe's and see if I can find some screws that are longer. I don't know if they have ones that are thin, that are narrow enough and long enough. We'll see. If not, then I'll just leave this as it is, and it's whatever. I have a Team Wendy helmet. I have a PT Bravo bump helmet. I just wanted to try this out for fun, see how it looks. I think it looks pretty decent. It's a nice look. I didn't think the multicam was going to come out as good as it did. Obviously, it doesn't really show justice on this video footage. Well, I guess it kind of does right there. You can see all the imperfections. People like the imperfections because it shows that it's not shiny and brand new. But yeah, I think it's pretty good. The helmet is, I think, like $45-50. And another, I don't know, 30 to 40 in accessories. Oh, so the last thing I did is the Velcro. You can tell I just line it up, as good as I just eyeballed everything. All of this is eyeballing it except for where I made the pencil marks. The only thing that kind of got in the way a little bit, you can see back here, is when I put this Velcro down, there are two holes right here in the helmet. So when you do, if you decided to go this route and you put the Velcro down, and if you put it like this, you might run into that issue, if you think it's an issue at all. But other than that, I mean, this is pretty simple to do. It took me, after the spray painting was done, just assembling the rest of this, 40 minutes. So all in all, might take you maybe 2 hours total, depending on how quickly you work. But yeah, that's the step-by-step process. If anybody's got any questions, feel free to let me know.